everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, February 12th, 2022. I don't know what exactly Diane is doing to Jack behind those brown bedroom walls, but I hope she keeps doing it. Because Jack was on fire this week. Honestly, I think Jack has been on fire all this year so far. I think 2023 could be the year of Jack Abbott. No more sentimental toasts at other people's weddings and events. I think this man has got his fire back. I love seeing him being so passionate when he's with Diane. I loved seeing him become ferocious with Victor and with Kyle. And I cannot believe that next week Jack is going to have the gall to try to buy Ashley out of the family home. That's the top story, biggest shocker of the week for me. That preview scene. Oh, I am guessing that Ashley does not like the fact that Diane brought her little suitcase over. I'm guessing that Ashley does not like the fact that Diane's probably prancing around John Abbott's home in her skivvies. Or it's also possible that maybe Diane's about to get a promotion at Jabot and Ashley's not going to stand for Diane swiveling around in that executive chair the way she did this week. Ooh, ooh, ooh. The drama is at Jabot. Yes. And it all started this week when Kyle left his phone behind and Jack picked it up and saw a text message come through from Victor saying, "Thanks for your help, stay tuned." I love that Jack and Victor have something to feud over right now. I loved seeing Jack showing up at the ranch this week, ready to throw down with Victor over Adam's job at Jabot. And as soon as Jack walked through the door, Victor said to him, "Oh, should I hide the silverware and the jewels so that you don't steal it?" That was a great line, great moment. I want more. I want more of that. I think I've had a long enough break on the Victor and Jack feud to where now I can definitely handle them plucking at each other a little bit more, you know, for old time's sake. Oh, but Jack really flipped out when he confronted Kyle about it all, about him being involved with Victor, and Kyle admitted that he gave some info to Victor. Oh, but it wasn't anything important. Just a dossier of everything that Adam was working on at their company. Did you see how paranoid Jack got about that? And I think he has a right to be, given all of his years of experience. Jack does not believe that Victor was just interested in Adam's career and bringing Adam back into his family business. Jack said, with Victor Newman, there's always a phase 2. So good. Oh, Jack is so ticked off at Kyle right now. I thought he was going to fire him. And Summer's so ticked off at Kyle, too. She said in the previews for next week that he betrayed her trust. So I almost kind of looked like Summer was going to leave him. That was a big fight in Jack's office. A big good fight in Jack's office. Jack and Kyle and Summer are all going at it. And Adam's over in the corner waving a little white flag, saying that he's going to just save everybody the trouble by quitting the job that he doesn't really feel passionate about anyway. Well, that's disappointing. I think that's disappointing because I love Adam and Jack's relationship. I wanted to see Jack be the father that Adam never had. I wanted to see Adam recognize that and really bond with Jack. I think that Jack took a chance on Adam, giving him that job, going against what everyone in the family said, just to give Adam this chance to shine and to rebuild his life. And I feel like Adam really dropped the ball. I think the writers really dropped the ball. There could have been so much good there. Kyle feeling like Adam was given preferential treatment or something. There was so much richness there that didn't get picked up on. And now I guess it's over a little bit, or maybe it's just beginning a little bit. But it seems like the drama's at Jabot. Adam's going to go back to Newman Enterprises. That seems very unlikely for his character, but it seems exactly like how the story is going to go, right? I'm kind of wondering if maybe Jack is going to replace Adam as co-CEO with Diane. I'm thinking Jack is going to make Diane, who is someone he feels he can trust. He's going to feel like his trust has been betrayed. So he's going to want someone he can trust in that co-CEO position. Oh my gosh, and it's going to be Diane. And then I'm thinking that maybe Summer will retaliate against Kyle by hiring Phyllis back now that Daniel has had enough of Phyllis. Ooh, wouldn't that be juicy? Just imagine that for a minute. Phyllis reporting to Diane this time. Mariah and Tessa's baby is coming. It's coming. No, it's not. False alarm. Little Anushka is taking her time. Not gonna lie, I kind of love the name Anushka. Which is better, Anushka or Hyacinth? They're both very good. I love all of the bizarre baby names. So fun. So, Mariah and Tessa's birth mother had some Braxton Hicks contractions, thought she was going into labor, called the girls, got them all excited, and it turned out to be nothing. Well, that happens. It happens. Thank goodness that we had Elena to tell Tessa all about the thing that she could have so easily read about on the internet herself. It was also very basic. I kept thinking, I'm sure that Tessa is bright enough to have been able to learn about all this stuff on her own. But I did really like seeing Tessa talk through her fears about it all with Elena. It just really reminded me that Tessa is one cool customer. She's got like the cool black hair. She had on the cool black jacket. Tessa is just cool. And Tessa's always with Mariah, kind of playing sidekick these days. It's always Mariah that's got the big reactions and the big lines. But that scene with Tessa and Elena definitely left me wanting more Tessa. Like just Tessa, just to be able to focus on her. I thought that Tessa did make a really good point about her relationship to motherhood because, well, Delphine feels connected to this baby because she's been pregnant for 9 months with this baby. Mariah has been pregnant before. Tessa hasn't experienced any of this. Tessa is kind of alone in that way. And now she's going to be put in a position where she'll be responsible for this helpless little life. And Tessa has no experience. She's had no good examples. And I think that would be scary. I'm surprised that Tessa didn't mention her family at all. We know that she came from a very troubled home. I think this would have been a good opportunity to hear her talk about all of the ways that she was hoping that she doesn't make the same mistakes that her mother did, and maybe sharing some of her fears around that. I'm sure all of that will come up later. But it was great that Elena was right there, listening patiently, offering advice. I thought that Elena was very real with all of her responses. I like Elena. I think Elena and Tessa had a very comfortable, calm vibe going between them. I think Tessa is very real. I think Elena comes off as very real with her cup of clear tea. Her clear cup of tea and those cotton socks. It just gives me warm, fuzzy, relaxed feelings any day when we get to see Elena kicking back on the couch with those cotton socks. Nate thought that he could make up for kissing Victoria by going straight home and having make-up sex with Elena. Only Elena didn't know she was having make-up sex. Oh, that's cold. That is the kind of cold that cotton socks can't help. Okay, well, all that being said, I love Nate and Victoria. I love that they met up in the hallway the next morning after their passionate accidental kiss. And everything pointed toward this becoming just another totally awkward moment between them. Like, oh, we kind of kissed. That didn't happen. But then that's not what happened. Victoria totally flipped the script and owned it. She said, yeah, that meeting, we should do it again sometime. Damn, Victoria. Making all my dreams and fantasies come true. I am so proud of her. This was no accident. Victoria's attracted to him. She's right to be, and she knows it, and she took ownership of it, and that made me happy. I'm sorry, Elena. I really am, because I love you. I don't want to see you get dogged, but even though I love you, I love a hot Nate and Victoria affair even more. And just so we're clear, I want this to be an affair, okay? No wimping out this time, Nate. No wimping out and confessing everything, Nate, like you did last time. You tried to do something underhanded last time and you wimped out and you confessed it all. That's not what I want to see this time. I want a hot, illicit affair. I want it to go on for a while, too. This is a safe space. We are allowed to have fun in this safe space. Naughty, naughty fun. Oh, it was good to see Victoria having fun, honestly. I think that she wants Nate for more than just fun, too. I think that she's attracted to him, and she wants to kind of double up on that attraction by also bringing him on the inside of the Tucker plan so that they can use that for more affair fodder. Like, I think Victoria wants both. She wants the heightened passions of the romance and the heightened passions of the business deal kill. And Nate knows that Victoria has what he wants too. I mean, Victoria has what she knows Nate wants, which is power. I mean, she knows she has it. She knows he wants it. He knows he wants it too. It's just power, more power. And all of the emotions and excitement and fireworks that come from that. I'm in, obviously. I think what Victoria really doesn't want, and what's going to put a really big crimp in her plan, is if Adam comes back into the fold at Newman Enterprises. I think she thinks that Adam's going to get in the way of her fun, and I'm sure he will. This week, Victoria told Victor, like, why can't you just let Adam go? Why do you keep sticking your neck out for him? If you keep sticking your neck out for Adam, sooner or later, he's going to cut it off. I thought that was a really fun line, a really fun moment. And then I thought, boy, that really would be fun to watch. Adam cutting Victor's head off? And he may just have a new ally that could help him do it. Adam and Tucker sat down together this week for a little brownie and villain chat. Let's have a brownie and chat about our villainy. Wait, former villainy. Sorry. Must be corrected. Yeah, I thought it was nice to see two outcasts, two former villains, having someone to talk to. I mean, Adam actually opened up to Tucker just a little bit about Sally. And for as smarmy as Tucker is, he always really seems to listen and to respond to whoever it is he's talking to. It's making me start to root for Tucker. This week he made a phone call to Ashley, and it was so tender and so kind of touching, and he was just willing to fly all the way to Paris for a lunch with her, for a chance to explain himself to her. And she replied, no thanks, don't come to Paris. She should have said, go ahead, come to Paris, because much to my surprise, she showed up back in Genoa City. I thought she was going to be gone for a long time, but no, just a short break. She should have said, fine, you go to Paris, and then she showed up in Genoa City. That would have been the ultimate trick on him. But since she's back, I'm sure that they'll cross paths, right? And she's going to be upset with Jack next week. And in the past, the more upset that she got with Jack, the more she turned to Tucker. But I imagine that she's not going to let that happen again. I'm sure that Tucker is going to spend most of next week just at her feet begging. Yeah, he's got other options though now, right? Ashley's back in Genoa City. Phyllis is also back in Genoa City, and they exchanged a few sexy little quips. Yeah, she wanted to insult him in Portuguese. Yeah, she was kind of lugging her suitcase upstairs, getting back from her trip, and they had a nice little tete-a-tete at the elevator. He also had a little bit of a tete-a-tete with Tucker as she was lugging her suitcase downstairs out of the hotel and into the Abbott mansion. And I loved the moment where Tucker cautioned Diane a little bit, and he said to her, happiness is yours to lose. So you seem real happy right now, Diane, but that happiness is yours to lose. And that really seemed to resonate with her too. So much so that she found a way that she would like to plant herself even deeper into the Abbott family. She told Kyle that she wants Phyllis's old job at Marchetti. She doesn't just want to be a paper pusher. She wants to be an executive at the family company. Oh, that's cute. Ooh, she might get just that. Even more than she bargained for, more than she asked for. But actually, back back to Tucker because, wow, I think I'm turning a major corner on Tucker. Just those interactions that he had this week. It just puts him in a new light for me. I think there's so many possibilities for his character. And he's been talking a good game about his own reformation. But to talk about it is one thing, to do it is another. I mean, his whole reformation supposedly took place off screen, you know, it was after his car accident, and he's just been telling everybody that he's so zen after that, and he's been dropping these little bits of wisdom. But now I'm really starting to think that maybe Tucker is really on the edge of it, and maybe he's letting the audience see just a little bit of that. Or maybe I'm being played for a fool just when I let my guard down, and now Tucker's going to turn the tables on everyone, including me. But either way, whoever is doing the writing for Tucker is doing a great job. I mean, I love that they're using this character to drop some, like, straight up philosophy bombs on us, like on the reg. You never step into the same river twice. That's some truth right there. The river's not the same. You're not the same. The environment's not the same. It's like we have a clever new way of saying, I'm just not that person anymore. What I want to know is Tucker so steeped in his own reformation that he can't see that the knives are out all around him? I think he does, and I think it can be both. I'm sure that Tucker is planning his next move, and he's already been alerted that others are planning a move against him. I mean, he and Victoria had that run-in at Crimson Lights a couple of weeks ago, so he knows it's coming. Michael reported to us this week that Tucker is indeed in debt, but not enough debt that if Newman Enterprises were to buy it, it would just automatically give them controlling interest of Tucker's company. So that's where Audra comes in. Victor and Michael and Victoria have all given Nate the green light to go ahead and use Audra as a double agent again. That's apparently something that she's very good at. The nature of Audra's relationship with Tucker, though, seems very on again, off again. So I think he's probably suspicious that Audra has suddenly become interested in him after they had that big fight. But she's saying that she wants to be friends with no benefits. I get the feeling that they always made up over a sexual chemistry, and now that she's saying, okay, let's just be friends and go out and hang out and all, it's sad you don't have any friends. I mean, she played it very, very well, but he's got to be suspicious about that. I wonder and worry that maybe Audra is going to find out that she's the one being used, because Nate this week mentioned to Victor the notion that maybe Tucker might be taking on this debt intentionally to trick them somehow with a Trojan horse, like bring his company into the fold, but then open it up and find out that you've been had. Next week, Heather will be paying a visit to Genoa City. And it's the good Heather. It's the right Heather. It's the best one. My favorite Heather. I think there may been like 2 or 3. But Vale Bloom is definitely the Heather. To me, she's the only one. I mean, I was never a super fan of Heather, but I must say, Vale looks very beautiful. She looks exactly the same as before, and we haven't seen her in a long time, and there was another Heather after her. I'm really interested to see what Y&R is going to do with her. I wonder what she's going to say. Is she here for a longer triangle? Is she going to maybe express interest in Daniel and then become part of a triangle with Daniel and Lily? Or is this just a short stop? Did she come all the way to Genoa City just to tell Daniel a final goodbye? I don't know. Phyllis admitted to Daniel that her trip to Portugal was not a success. And I think that, among other things, got her fired. But Daniel's not completely out because Lily was a success in saving his project for Chancellor Winters. So Daniel's staying with Chancellor Winters for now, but I mean, with everybody vying for Daniel's project, it just almost seems inevitable that Chancellor Winters is going to lose it. And maybe it's going to just be a function of Devon's lawsuit. Maybe Lily did everything she can, but at the end of the day, that lawsuit from Devon is going to strap them. Yeah, Lily has a lot of successes right now, but getting through to Devon is not one of them. And in reverse, Devon is not really able to get through to Lily. And I thought maybe a good poll question for this week would be to ask you whose side you're on when it comes to the Devon and Lily argument. Do you lean toward thinking that Lily is right? Or do you lean toward thinking that Devon is right? You can go to yrchat.com if you would like to cast your vote in that poll. And I think it's a pretty good question because I would say maybe 2 weeks ago, I would have slam dunk put myself completely and solidly on Lily's side. And I think I am still going to vote for Lily, but I think that Devon made a heck of a good point this week. I think he exposed Lily a little bit this week. Because Devon said, hey, Lily, so if running the family business together with me is what you're really after, then why don't you just leave Chancellor Winters, Jill's company, and come run Hamilton Winters with me? And I thought, well, that is a pretty great point that perhaps perfectly exposes where Lily is in life right now. Lily wants this career, and Lily wants to grow that company bigger. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I liked that it forced Lily to take a look at what she wants a little bit harder, because she's been saying family, 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 but I'm not sure that's entirely true. Lily wants her career. Lily wants to grow bigger and have a lot of success. Lily wants this IPO just as much as Jill does, so I'd like to see her continue to own it. I'd like to continue to see Lily telling Devon how it is, throwing down with him and him throwing down with her. I think this has become very, very good. And I like Lily's desire for success of her company. I think that's great. And I think that the fact that she wants it all so badly, I want her to get it and shove it in Devon's face a little bit. I think that she's going to need Omegasphere to be a huge success, though. And I think it's ultimately going to fail. Well, I think it's going to fail with Chancellor Winters, and Daniel's going to seek other prospects. But I think Lily is probably going to be pressuring Daniel to fill the role that he just fired Phyllis from. Like, do it and do it ASAP. So it sure is a good thing that Chance is a coder now. Wow! Isn't that just ironic? He was watching those kids play video games a couple of weeks ago, and now we learned that in between all of his Man of Mystery skills, he also did some light programming for the military. Huh. It's all very top secret, of course. He can't talk about it in detail, but yeah, he's a coder now. That's hilarious. I would just like to say that technology is changing so fast that in order to keep up with it, you would have to sharpen that skill every day. You cannot code casually. You cannot have done some code a couple of years ago and then just be able to pick right up on it. You need constant training. And by the time you're done with your training, everything has changed. It's crazy, but I love this. None of the careers are for real on this show. But I'm actually pretty happy that Chance's career crisis may have led him to the family company. Working for Chancellor Winters with Daniel on the Omega Sphere project is perfect. He's the Chancellor for Chancellor Winters. And I think it's exactly the career that he's looking for. Are you looking for a no-drama career? Well, the family company is just the place to do it. As we have learned from watching the inner workings at Newman Enterprises and Chancellor Winters, working with the family company is the best way to have a low-stress career that brings everyone together in familial harmony. Done and done. Nick encouraged Sally to be open about her pregnancy and the question of the paternity. Be open, he says. Tell the truth, he says. Even if that means telling Adam the whole secret. Even if that's not what Nick really wants, he wants Sally to go ahead and do that, which is the correct answer, Nick. I applaud your lip service to the truth, Nick. I applaud you saying all the right things. Chloe, on the other hand, has encouraged Sally to not tell Adam. Big surprise. Chloe says, No, there is no need to alert Adam unnecessarily. We will go ahead, we will schedule the paternity test, but we will only use Nick for now. So Sally got the paternity test. I really hope we get the results soon, because I don't know how much longer I can handle the way she says paternity. Paternity is paternity. Not per. That's picky. I say so many things wrong on a weekly basis, but paternity, I don't know, it just like it grates on my skull. But wow, I didn't know that you could really even get a paternity test so early in the pregnancy. She said it was a couple of swabs. What exactly got swabbed, I don't know. But in the meantime, while we wait, Nick is being very reassuring and saving her career single-handedly. Could you believe that? Well, I guess he felt guilty because his father tanked her big meeting with Jill. And so Nick called Jill personally, not to go to bat for his girlfriend. No. Nick just wanted to stand by a colleague who just so happens to look hot in leather pants. I see right through you, Nick. And Jill was like, okay, well, I respect you and your opinion, Nick. Cough, cough. If you say so, Nick, I respect your business acumen. So I'll go ahead and take that meeting with Sally and Chloe right now. And wouldn't you know it, Jill was awfully impressed. Sally and Chloe believe that design should be fresh and good and cool. And so therefore, Jill should hire them to do the interior design at all of the Chancellor Winters hotel chains. My only question is, will this include the Grand Phoenix? We didn't really see the Grand Phoenix very much for a while. It took a back seat, and now all of a sudden we're seeing it again. So I'm wondering if the Grand Phoenix is going to get a facelift courtesy of Sally and Chloe. No, not a facelift, a facial rejuvenation. That sounds good. Thank you for saving the day, Nick. Welcome to week 2 of Billy and Chelsea insisting that they are not dating. Whatever. Chelsea went out and got a new haircut. Nothing says new boyfriend like a new set of bangs. Am I right? That's the telltale sign right there. You got a new haircut. You know you got a new boyfriend. Or you're about to try to get a new boyfriend. Oh. Well, maybe it's just as well that Billy and Chelsea are insisting that they're just friends since nobody seems to approve. Victoria just got the memo that Billy and Lily broke up, and I thought that was a very interesting conversation between Billy and Victoria. I thought it was interesting that Victoria finally admitted that she was jealous of Lily. She was jealous that Lily got the more mature version of Billy. Pause for laughter. Adam really hates Billy and Chelsea together, though. I did not like Adam talking to Chelsea like he has any say over who she's dating, and Chelsea didn't like that either. She let him know that it's her life. She knows what she's doing. She doesn't need his input. But then again, if the tables were turned, Billy would have had no problem doing the exact same thing if Chelsea would have decided to start dating Adam again after her breakdown. It's tit for tat. I did like how Adam agreed to step back from all of that Billy-Chelsea worrying about their relationship, and he decided to instead step up in the dad department. Adam said, hey, if Billy's going to be taking Connor and Johnny around the town, letting them ice skate together, then I'm going to do something with them too. Adam is not going to be left out of the dad mix. Billy picked ice skating? Fine. Adam gets to pick the next activity, and I can't help wondering what activity Adam is going to pick. Well, he is a teen vampire, so I'm thinking Ouija board sleepover, anyone? Men are just very simple creatures. I thought that that was a very condescending and rude line. And it came from Chloe. There should really be no surprises there. Chloe's kind of the queen of condescending and rude. Men are just very simple creatures. Well, that's an oversimplification, but she was also talking about Kevin's house husband skills, and it was also a very funny line. So, I have to give congratulations to Ron, Henry, Daisy, Kenzie, Kathy, Heather K., wonderful Wendy, who's listening to this podcast right now, and Keisha, Tanya, Sharita, and Diane. Congratulations, you guys. You guys all guessed it right. So here's a new line for you. I am poised like a jungle cat. I knew when I heard that. I had a couple good options for this week's quote, but I knew when I heard that it was the line. I am poised like a jungle cat. Who said it? If you think you know, you can go to yrchat.com and leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. For last week's poll question, I asked you, what should Billy's next career move be? Darn, I wish I would have asked this question about Adam since he just quit Jabot. But then again, it just seems so written in the stars that he's going to go back to Newman Enterprises. But I just feel, I guess, that Billy is so... he's just listing right now, and it's nice that he's finding a girlfriend and somebody to hang out with, but I just find myself wanting to put Billy into the action somewhere, give him some sort of personal purpose as opposed to just being defined by the relationship that he's in, and I feel that way about Chelsea too. But when I asked you guys what you thought Billy's next career move would be, I'm really surprised. 32%, the vast majority vote went to podcasting. I thought everybody hated Billy as a podcaster. It seemed like we were always ripping on him when he was doing his midnight musings, and now it's like absence has made the heart grow fonder. Everybody wants him to become a podcaster again. I liked that of him too. I guess when the tone was initially very dark, I had a hard time with the podcast. It was no fun. But given the fact that Billy is a very funny guy, he should be. I mean, he actually, and Jason Thompson possesses the ability to play both serious and comedy, and he does both of those things very well. Being a podcaster and being able to flip and comment seriously, but also to have a little bit of fun. I think you're all right that made a very compelling direction for his character, and it was something a little bit off the beaten path. The second place vote went to Billy becoming a nightclub or a restaurant host, or like a bar host. That was 20% of the vote, and I think that really works too. But the fact that the combined majority vote, 32% and 22%, were between the podcast or maybe becoming the nightclub host, tells me that you guys want to see Billy in an offbeat career, that you're not wanting to see him go back to the corporate atmosphere. That's where everybody seems to work these days. The third place vote went to Omega Sphere, having him work at a tech company. The fourth place vote went to having him work at the family company, that's Jabot. Everything else kind of came in with only a few votes each. Marianne V says, I think Billy was the happiest being a podcaster, with or without Chelsea. He should try that again. Yeah, I mean, I think Billy having an offbeat career really works. I also think that works for Adam, too. I wouldn't mind seeing Adam have an offbeat career. I'm not exactly sure what that would be. Maybe you guys could throw out some ideas for what would be the next good career move for Adam, too. Sharad says, I can see Billy as the owner of a nightclub or a bar. He has that swagger and the mystique for that profession, more so than Noah. I think so too, Sharad, and that was my vote. I wanted to see Billy maybe take over the glam club management since we're not seeing Noah anymore. But plus, Billy definitely has that atmosphere. He's a relaxed man of mystery, and you're right, it's the swagger about him that would make him make other people feel comfortable and make other people have a good time and just having fun. He's a fun guy. There's a flip side to that fun, which means he also has a very deep intensity of problems too. But yeah, that would have been my vote. Naomi says Billy should open another nightclub or take over Noah's manager role at the Velvet Underground place. Ooh, that's a good name for it. He looks good and he has the charm. But I'd like to see Phyllis get back to the Grand Phoenix so maybe they could coexist and manage the whole building together. Ooh, Naomi, I like that. Phyllis goes back to managing the hotel. Billy manages the nightclub and bar, and they can work together. Honestly, they might make a good hookup again. Ooh, I could probably see that going on. Billy and Phyllis definitely had some chemistry. Well, Tony says Daniel's looking for a landing place for his completely unique gaming idea. The big three are battling for his business. I think Billy could be the head of a new company that launches Omegasphere. Daniel and Phyllis and Omegasphere would be the top priority. The big three would be stunned. Billy would be the CEO of something and maybe reconnect with Phyllis. Starting with always looking over her scented shoulders as she codes, bringing Chelsea for something, and she has a near teenage son, so she could be a target user or a liaison, leaving her to discover Daniel's charms. In the future, maybe for summer sweeps, Lucy and Connor could be aged, all starting with a new career path for Billy. Oh, that's so good. So Billy's working with Daniel, and Phyllis is kind of out of the mix now at Omegasphere. But you also do make a good point that Chelsea has the young son, so that could be a draw for the gaming. I like that. Sue W. says, as Billy has not yet ping-ponged his all-over-the-place careers into nightclub or restaurant host, I voted for that. I can't keep that restless Billy boy in one place for too long. I'd rather see him back at Newman, dallying with Victoria, but I don't think Victor would stand for it, nor would Billy want to take that on again, at least not for now. Yeah, Billy and Victoria had that wonderful scene this week. A lot of good rapport. You could definitely see them working together, but I don't think Billy would want that, and I don't think Victor would want that. But frankly, again, I can't believe that Adam's going to willingly go back to Newman Enterprises. The only reason I could see that working is if he knows Tucker's got some kind of plan for the inside, and he's part of the Trojan horse. Maybe Adam is the Trojan horse. What about that? Oh my goodness. What if Tucker hires Adam secretly, and then when Newman buys Tucker's debt and takes that part of Tucker's company, the Newmans are forced to work with Adam, but in a adversarial way, like working against Adam, but inside the same four walls. That could be good. Hey, Ron says, I hope we have steered clear of the Billy Chelsea love storyline. Male-female friends can't exist without the love angle, and honestly, these two need a platonic friend instead of more love interests. Although on some level, Billy might be enjoying making Adam squirm. He acts oblivious to Adam's discomfort, but I'm not buying it. Oh, you think that Billy's kind of getting involved with Chelsea, at least in part, to tick Adam off? Yeah. You know, it's funny, male-female friendships, yeah. Billy and Chelsea claim that that's what they are. Audra and Tucker talked about that a little bit this week. Victoria says, I'm loving Chelsea's new bangs and darker hair. She looks amazing. It's a bit tiresome to have Adam get on her again about Billy. At this point, let's get soapy and do something devious to separate them or let them go. Adam needs to stay in his dad lane. You know, the thing is, Billy and Chelsea's relationship to me is fine, but it's not the main course. It's not the main dish that I'm looking for. I feel like it's nice for a side dish, but it's not the main course that I want to sink my teeth into. Oh, this is good from Ellen, who says, Hi, Chance! Sitting with Daniel at the cool beard guy table at Crimson Lights. I almost forgot about you. The cool beard guy table, yeah. Sexy cool beard guy table. Yeah, I kind of forgot about Chance for a second, though, too. The only thing we've really seen is him being way too comfortable with his breakup with Abby, and then everything with Sharon. And I feel similar about Sharon and Chance that I do about Billy and Chelsea. Like, Sharon and Chance together is fine, it's good, but it's not the main course that I'm wanting to sink my teeth into. Sue W. says, I don't remember the Heather character or the actress at all. Did I like her? I think that sums it up really well, Sue W., because actually I think, like, nobody really remembers her. She was a little bit of a wallflower. I mean, she was Paul's daughter, so she was always she was like the district attorney for a while, or no, she was a defense attorney. I don't know. She was a little bit of just kind of like, well, I'm here to support other characters' stories and their legal troubles. She wasn't fascinating and vibrant like a lot of the other girls on the show, but you never know. They could bring her back and totally revamp the character. I feel like Vale Bloom's got the va-va-va-voom to do it. The second Heather, the one that was actually with Daniel with the red hair, she was pretty, but again, just kind of like plain and boring. Just plain and boring. Plain and boring, boring and plain. But I think Vale Bloom, maybe it's the hair, maybe it's the lips, but she's definitely, she's a looker, so I feel like she could bring some va-va-voom to the table here. Sue W. also says, oh, Phyllis. Phyllis! It's hard for me to hate on her, like so many do, for the simple reason that the gorgeous redhead just doesn't see the error of her ways. You gotta respect someone so bullheaded in their own deluded convictions. She can and will never see herself as the bulldozer she generally is. Maybe Daniel's hippy-dippy video game, if it ever gets off the Zen ground, can bring her enlightenment. Or Tucker can whisk her off on a spiritual journey for the two to sit cross-legged together and chant their way to inner peace. Anything to stop her meddling. But then she'd be no fun and would have to be shipped off to the Hallmark Channel. No, thank you. I love her obnoxious character just where she is with Tucker. Dang, that's good, Sue. I love that. Yeah. And didn't she look beautiful in the dress, the red dress with the sparklies and her shoulders out? And she looked so tan and beautiful. And she grabs her chest and she's always like, my intentions. Like, she's so passionate. She is who she is, and it's unabashed. And that's exactly how Michelle Stafford plays her. She's like, I'm going to go for it. And I don't care if you like it. This is who I am. This is what the character is. This is how I'm going to play it. And that's exactly what makes me appreciate her too. Would I want to hang out with Phyllis? No. Would Phyllis be my best friend? No. There's just no way. She's over the top and obnoxious, but I feel like that's what daytime needs her to be. So you'll get no Phyllis hate from me. I mean, her actions are wrong, but the drama is right. T. Nicole says, okay, I do like Tucker McCall. If this actor improvises some of his lines, which I'm assuming he did, with the comment at the coffee house where he said to Nick, isn't it past your bedtime? Which then leads to other actors being taken off guard. I absolutely loved seeing that laugh from Nick and Adam from that comment, which I think was the actor's breaking character. More laughter, please. I think so too. I think you're absolutely right, T. Nicole. I think that actor is mixing up the scenes. I think he's keeping people on their toes, which totally translates to the audience. If the actors are having fun playing the characters and they're not just going through the motions of saying the lines, if there's an element of relax there, to being in the moment, to being present in the moment, which, by the way, plays exactly into everything Tucker has said in his Zen mind. I mean, that's what translates to the audience. That's what makes it interesting to watch. For me, anyway, I agree. The more that I've seen Tucker and possibly Trevor St. John relax into those scenes and throw those little curveballs, the more I have started to connect with his character. And on the other note, the other flip side coin of Tucker's character, Diana says Tucker was so cute on the phone when he called Ashley in his hotel room. He reminded me of a nervous teenager with a schoolboy crush as he walked around the room with the phone in his hand. He had this sense of innocence as he touched the lamp while leaving the message to Ashley. He wasn't his usual cocky, confident self, as he seemed to lack confidence when talking, as if he was afraid of how Ashley was going to respond to him after hearing the message. To me, this seems to show that Tucker really does love Ashley and regrets how he handled things in order to win her back. I hope Tucker continues to pursue Ashley, as we see in the previews, as she's returning to Genoa City. Diana, I totally agree. We're seeing these other sides of Tucker, or maybe they were always there and we're just starting to connect to them. I think maybe the actor is relaxing into his role more, and it translates. Yeah, when he was walking around the room feeling sad, I mean, he had his head down. He looked like he was hating himself, and he was alone. You know, I mean, what the character does when they're alone tells you a little something about their intentions. I mean, he wasn't trying to manipulate anything in that moment. I mean, maybe manipulate Ashley coming back to him, but the sorrow that he seemed to feel felt real, and I agree. Those are the moments that make you connect with the character. Well, switching topics, how about this from Daisy, who says, I'm hoping that Devon will feel compelled to buy Tucker's debt. And rather than Tucker making payments to him, Devon decides to make himself co-owner of Tucker's company. Perhaps what Tucker had been planning all along. And after many conversations, the two of them could decide to work together to get Devon's company back from Chancellor Winters, perhaps even the entire company, considering both Tucker and Devon are Catherine's legacy. But the plan of taking over Chancellor Winters isn't just a pipe dream, Tucker. Pouring through his mother's paperwork, maybe he comes across Catherine's entire will, which had included giving Devon the majority shares of Chancellor's. And for reasons unknown, this part of the will was hidden until now. So Tucker and Devon are working together to get Devon's company back, but also to ensure Catherine's true wishes for her company are adhered to. Boom, 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 boom. First of all, this is brilliant, Daisy, because for reason one, Tucker putting himself into debt may not have been intended to be a Trojan horse for Victor and Victoria, even though that might end up happening. Maybe he did it hoping that Devon would find out, buy the debt, and then they'd be forced to work together. That is smart, smart, smart. Second of all, this is brilliant because this is exactly the plot twist that needs to happen. I love Jill, but seeing her on video calls just to talk about the business, it's getting a little bit old. I'd really rather see Jill stop by just to meddle, you know, or I want to see her in person and for a reason. The video calls are getting, it's always nice to see her, but I think maybe Chancellor Winters needs to be in the hands of a chancellor or an heir of Catherine's, right? Devon is both the chancellor and the Winters side of that company, but we have Chance, who is a chancellor. We now have Tucker, who is, so they say, Catherine's son. I'll never accept it, but fine. But yeah, I think that's what the show needs for the plot right now, for Tucker and Devon to work together to get that, to secure that Chancellor Winters company legacy. Yes. Gosh, that'd be good. Ellen says, it's time for Devon to return all the Chancellor billions he inherited. He only cares about being a Winters. He has no loyalty to Catherine's legacy. Perhaps it all comes down to Lily being chosen as the CEO of Chancellor Industries. Maybe if Devon had been chosen as Catherine's heir, then he wouldn't have been so contrary about everything Lily and Jill wanted to do moving forward. But since they won't bend to his will, he thinks that he should be able to take his toys and go home, no questions asked. What planet is he living on? Yeah, he's living on planet Devon, all right. And I did like the way Jill laid it down very sharply about Devon. Like, Devon's just, he's playing Devon's game. He's living in Devon world. It's all about Devon, the Devon show. I thought that was very good. But also, you do make a good point that it's just like, where's the Chancellor in Chancellor Winters? It's supposed to be Jill, I guess, but it's not fitting the bill fully. All right, well, Diana says, I'm happy we're seeing Michael more often, as he is currently working with Victor. I love this character, and I hope we continue to see more of him. I don't think he cares for Nate very much. It was funny when Michael said, oh, goody, when Victoria was explaining why Nate should be brought in on the family, or why he should be brought in on the company taking on Tucker McCall's debt. Michael clearly doesn't respect or value Nate's business acumen. I guess he feels like Nate has not yet proven himself and he's not yet worthy to be on such a big project. Well, yes, yes, yes to all of the extra Michael Baldwin. You know what it is? I don't think it's that Michael doesn't like Nate. I think it's that Michael always represents the voice against whatever crazy plot is about to take place. Like, that's Michael's role, professionally and personally, like when it comes to his family and all of their crazy plots. Michael is always the one smacking his head against his forehead like, no, this is not a good idea, and I know you guys aren't going to listen to me, but I have to do my due diligence and tell you not to do it. Michael's reaction to Nate and about this, going the extra mile of the twisting of with Audra, that's what tells us this is not a good idea. The Newmans think that they're the one having, but they're going to find out that they're about to be had. I think that the Trojan horse is a really apt description of it, because I think the Newmans are inviting in their own demise. And Michael's just always there to be able to say, I told you so. Sharita says, I'm gonna say it again for naive Elena. Nate's guilt trip of a romantic getaway after a sucking face with Victoria. Then he and Victoria don't even acknowledge, really, that they were or are on the verge of having an affair. I think Victoria only included him in that meeting hoping to stoke his ego and maybe be able to manipulate him into bed. I'm disgusted with the two of them. It's hard to believe that this Nate is the same Nate that broke up with Abby because he couldn't take the lies and manipulations that the Newmans do. Wow, yeah, I kind of vaguely remember Nate and Abby being together, but that's an interesting point that he was like, no, I cannot. And he broke up with her for that. Oh, yeah. Maybe it was like around the time with like the medications and the Victor Adam medications switch thing, or I can't remember exactly. But so you don't like the Victoria and Nate. Well, keep those comments coming though, because I have to hear the other side of this, because I'm so all in on it. Sue W, though, says, it's hard to buy Elena as, or soon to be, a poor, wronged girlfriend. She cheated on Devon with Nate. It was obvious then that Nate was willing to cross the cheating boundaries, and so was she. But she's so sweet and didn't mean for it to happen, and she's so sorry. Yet, still a cheating cheater. But cheaters move on to either cheat again or never again. Yeah, I mean, Elena was a cheater too. That's right. Nate and Elena cheated, and yes, Nate cheated, and you're right. He was willing to cross the cheating boundary then, but so was Elena. Everything that could be said about Nate there could be said about Elena too. It's just that Nate's get ready to do it again. Oh, yeah. I love Elena, though. I love Elena. And she's really great. But you do make a good point. She's not necessarily a poor me. She's but lately, I mean, that's the only, you know what? No, that's the only thing Elena has ever done wrong. That's the one time Elena showed a slip of judgment, was that affair. Other than that, Elena has been pretty perfect. Maybe we need to see her be a little less perfect. Hey, Sherrod says, I hadn't noticed it before, but didn't read too much into it. But the episode back to back, it was easier to pick up on. Kate Fairbanks Tessa seems to settle into her character with more ease around the other actors and characters than when she's in a scene with Cameron Grimes' Mariah. It was like that in the beginning, but the atmosphere has definitely changed. I loved the comfortable conversation between Tessa and Elena. I want to see them together more. Also, since Elena assured Tessa that since Delphine had a healthy pregnancy for 9 months and everything should be fine, that sealed the deal to let me know otherwise. And I am so okay with that. I need something to separate Taraya. I really think there was an ease in that scene. That's a great word to describe it. The scene with Tessa and Elena was ease. And yeah, it did feel like there was a little more space for Tessa to shine there. It's like with Mariah. Mariah is usually the dominant personality, and Tessa is usually reacting to Mariah's quips or zingers or whatever's going on with her. She's definitely a second fiddle. But here, it was a little bit more balanced where we actually got to see Tessa. That's funny. It's like Mariah's a sun that just eclipses the screen. She's so big that she just eclipses whoever else is there. But just removing Mariah from the equation for one single scene really allowed Tessa to become a sun. Yeah, I completely agree with that. And you're thinking that this baby is not going to happen. The fact that Elena was so reassuring tells you that it was not going to happen. I thought it was happening. I was like watching Monday's episode going, okay, the baby's here. I'm ready. Let's see. We're picking the baby names. We'll get the baby home. We'll decide. I was in picking the baby names. I thought we were there. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, false alarm. I don't know. Will we find out next week? I mean, they said a couple days the baby could be here even a couple days ago. So we'll find out. Hopefully within the next week or two, we'll see how that pans out. But you're hoping it pans out and separates Mariah and Tessa, so we could have a little bit more of a taste of what we got this week with Elena and Tessa. Well, Lara says, having 2 pregnancy stories at once is reminding me of the way I got started with Y&R. I was expecting my first child, and a close friend, also pregnant, turned it on while we folded laundry. Sheila had just done the baby switch, and I was rolling my eyes because Lauren didn't notice that it was a different baby. And yet, here I am, 32 years later. I think it would be super interesting if Tessa and Mariah's baby was born with a genetic exceptionality. So cool to have a character and an actor with an intellectual disability, for example. Oh, a couple of things there. So, oh my gosh, you had a friend that you guys were pregnant at the same time, and she flipped on Young and the Restless while you guys were folding laundry, and now 32 years later, still watching The Young and the Restless. Oh my gosh. Gosh. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That feels really significant and meaningful to me just hearing it from you. But I also do like your idea. I think this would work, having a character and an actor with an intellectual disability, that would work if Mariah and Tessa had adopted. We would get that, immediate effect too. And that's the direction I was hoping it would go. I really wanted to see Mariah and Tessa adopt. And you never know, if Sherrod is correct, maybe the baby won't pan out with Delphine, and there could be other adoption opportunities there. Who knows? Well, let's talk about Kyle a little bit, because Ellen says, Kyle is such a little weasel. Jack deserves respect and honesty, not being undermined by his son. I really liked it when Jack told Kyle, hey, you left the co-CEO position to go work at Marchetti, so you could at the very least have left me to do the job that you left. Let me run my company, I think is what he said. Let me do my job. Let me run my company. See, Diane's pumped Jack's ego is what it is. Because now all of a sudden it's my company. It's my house. We're seeing flashes of that old cocky Jack Abbott. And that old cocky Jack Abbott always in the past ended up shooting himself in the foot. So I like the idea that we're revisiting that. I like seeing Jack's ego get inflated little by little by little, and we'll just find out if he blows it this time. Gary says, personally, I feel the whole Adam Kyle scheme to bring Adam down or I think you mean Victor Kyle scheme to bring Adam down, is a tempest in a teapot that never amounted to much of anything. But now if Kyle must pay the fiddler, he must pay the fiddler. Perhaps he can get a job at Newman. I cannot say it enough. I think that all of it, should have been so much bigger. We just should have been seeing more feud with Adam and Kyle the whole time, and that would have made this whole blow up that much bigger. Do you think that Jack is going to fire Kyle? And maybe he will go work at Newman Enterprises? I mean, that's a good question. And I don't know what Summer is so totally upset about next week, saying that, like, he betrayed her. I thought Kyle pretty much told her everything. I mean, he was kind of like, no, it's all right. But, I mean, he pretty much told her everything. I don't know why this is so shocking to Summer. I like my idea that Summer's going to retaliate by hiring Phyllis. I think that sounds good. Well, Daisy says, words Chloe should hear from Sally. Ready? Quote, I appreciate your friendship, but you've imposed your hate for Adam on me long enough. I care about him. So please keep your hatred for Adam away from me. From now on, it's none of your business. You don't make decisions for me, my pregnancy, or my life. Ooh. Okay, and equally, here are some words that Nick should hear from Sally. Quote, I'm glad you're in my life. But stop hovering. I am not a doily. I do not need to be coddled. Or is it Dolly? Is it meant to be Dolly? Maybe Dolly, but doily is fun. I like the word doily. And continuing on with what Nick should hear from Sally. What were you thinking? Making me look like a naive child to Jill? She'll never see me as a strong employee or an independent woman now. And I will decide what to do and when I do. And I will when... and then I will let you know, but not before. Okay, that's so good. Okay, first of all, I totally agree with the words that Chloe needs to hear from Sally. But, okay, about the hovering, I didn't feel like Nick was hovering over Sally. In fact, I got the opposite impression. I felt like Sally, for the last 2 weeks, has been overly needing reassurance from Nick. I felt like Sally's been like, but, okay, you're still going to be with me, right? Like, if it's my baby, if it's your baby, but what if it's Adam's baby, but you're still with me, right? Like, I felt like she asked him the same question, like, 3 different times. She wanted to hear in, like, 3 different ways that he was still going to be with her, or that they were still going to have this relationship, even if it turned out to be Adam's baby. So it's kind of interesting that you read it the opposite way. I was just thinking like, Sally, chill. He already told you. You guys are good. See where it goes. But I felt like she was needing the constant reassurance. And so maybe that's where Nick was coming from and wanting to help secure her the job interview. And I also think he felt guilty because of Victor. But how about the point where Sally said, yeah, so Victor sabotaged my meeting? What a jackass! That was a fun moment. Oh, Ellen says, Jill is so rude. Sally's life is not a train wreck, in quotes. You just read a very biased hit job prepared by Victor. Just think of what Victor's minions could write about you, Jill. Yeah, and Jill seemed to really connect with Sally a couple weeks ago, and then she just let Victor influence whether or not she was going to take a meeting. Yeah, I totally agree. It doesn't say much about Jill there at all, but yeah, I like the idea of what the dossier on Jill would look like. What would be the highlights? I mean, there's much to choose from, but if you had to pick the top bullet points, what would you pick? Oh, let's wrap this up by talking a little wardrobe chat. Tina says, Sally better wear those leather pants every day until they put her in sweats. Wardrobe department has been killing it lately. And T. Nicole says, if I could pick one character's wardrobe that I would love to wear, I think it would be Chloe. I applaud Sally for wearing tight green leather pants, especially after finding out that she's pregnant. But if I'm completely honest, Elena's comfy gray sweatsuit with her socks is more what I end up wearing. I'll say watching Elena curled up on her couch talking to Tessa, I just kept thinking, oh, yes, she looks comfy. You know, it's a perfect representation because, like, Sally in her sassy leather pants is what we all kind of wish we could look like, but the reality is we're all Elena in a gray sweatsuit and comfy cotton socks. Truth. Okay, everybody. And the truth is that is the end of Y&R Chat. That felt like a good one. I'm having fun in February. Hope Y&R keeps it up. Well, I hope you keep up those comments. Go to yrchat.com. Let me know what you're thinking about the show, what you're thinking about the chat. Vote in that poll. Let me know whose side you're on, Lily or Devon. And come back next week. We'll see where we are then. I love you guys. I hope you have a really good one. Bye.